Get your tickets now for the Dog Stars.
It's no surprise how fast civilization can disappear. Out there, it's kill or be killed.
Jacob Elordi.
There are people out there.
They need our help.
Josh Brolin.
Shoot first and inquire afterwards.
Margaret Qualley.
Ow.
Okay, tough guy.
And Guy Pearce.
Arm up!
The Dog Stars, directed by Ridley Scott, in theaters August 28th. Get tickets now. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parents.
Right now, get up to 15% off select storage solutions. Put heavy-duty HDX totes to good use, protecting what's important to you. The solid, impact-resistant design prevents cracking, and the clear base and sides make items easy to find even when the totes are stacked. Find select shelving and tote storage up to 15% off at the Home Depot to organize every room in your home, from your garage to your attic. Visit HomeDepot.com. How doers get more done.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's Fruit Snacks, made with whole fruit and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's Fruit Snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
Listen to the heartbeat.
Chevy is called the heartbeat of America for a reason. With SUVs made to move with your rhythm. The versatile Equinox tackles your entire day. The spacious Traverse fits your crew and your whole weekend. And Trax brings style with value you can count on. All infused with tech that has your back, so your drive always hits the right chord. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
This episode is brought to you by Google Chrome. You think you know a browser, but Gemini and Chrome? That's new. It can help you with practically anything on the web, like restoring a vintage motorcycle from a 50-page restoration blog, or finally break down that long article you've had open for weeks. Gemini and Chrome is here for it. Ready to make anything online make sense? There's no place like Chrome. Check responses, setup required, compatibility and availability varies, 18+.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Eagles Postgame Live. We are reacting to the Eagles' Week 1 loss against the Baltimore Ravens. Joining me, he is Shane Haff at Shane Haff NFL. What's good, Shane?
Deibs, football is back? Question mark? Man, it's been a long time since you and I have been on the mic together. Maybe the next time we're on the mic together, the football game we just watched will have been enjoyable.
Dude, it was a game for sure. One of the most abysmal offensive performances we have seen in Eagles preseason history. 7 3-and-outs, less than 100 yards, horrendous quarterback play. Obviously a vanilla game plan in this one, but they don't even look interested in this one. There were some bright spots. We're going to go offense to defense. We're going to talk, the highs, a lot of lows. But let's lead off with offense. Shane, Andy Dalton, what are we doing here? Why is this guy pretending like he's quarterback 2? Because he looked absolutely dreadful. 3 for 6, 20 yards. Quick reaction to Andy Dalton's first time with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, he's Andy Dalton. You're not going to learn anything about Andy Dalton in the preseason. I mean, for what it's worth, Tanner McKee didn't look well either. He had some poor throws, overthrowing a couple of guys that were open on the side, tight windows, but trying to layer some throws in that he missed. So overall, nothing super exciting about any of the quarterback play. I really expected to see a lot more Cole Payton in this game. And, we hit record with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So we saw one Cole Payton drive and that was it. That's kind of what rookie quarterbacks sort of give the preseason life. And so him not playing kind of put a damper on things a little bit, but when he did play, you kind of understood why he didn't play. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Cole Payton won't make this roster simply because I think the biggest takeaway offensively is how much the Eagles had both Andy Dalton and Tanner McKee under center. And when Cole Payton came on the field, every snap was from shotgun. So clearly they must not think he's comfortable doing that. Maybe, you keep him developmentally, but that's my burning quarterback take is I think Cole Payton will be a practice squad guy just because they never put him under center in this game.
Yeah, Dalton McKee, Both of them basically did nothing to distinguish themselves in this game, which sounds like a lot of what we have heard throughout training camp, for better or worse. Dalton struggled. McKee struggled with his accuracy at times. Just really bad performance, top to bottom, from the Eagles quarterbacks. Let's get to the Eagles rushing game. Will Shipley kind of came on in that second quarter when the Eagles offensive line started to play and gel, get in rhythm just a little bit. Had a couple nice carries. Tank Bigsby we got to see from time to time, but Will Shipley, I thought, also had a pretty nice blitz pickup there, which is huge. What are your thoughts on the Eagles rushing attack?
Yeah, it was nice to see him run a little bit of outside zone. You know, you assume going to more of the under center play action style of offense. A lot of that is predicated on a wide zone scheme. And Will Shipley had a couple of nice runs out of wide zone. So that was a nice wrinkle to see. I mean, last year, everything was just inside zone. So seeing him mix that up a little bit. And I mean, granted, it's the preseason. All your everything's vanilla. It's the same couple passing concepts and spamming outside zone, but it was nice to see that. It's just something that we didn't see much last year. So I liked at least the thought process there, and Shipley had a couple of nice runs out of it.
Yeah, and then we get to the Eagles offensive line, which I thought had some bright spots. We got our first look at Markel Bell, who, especially in that second quarter, was a person mover. I mean, he looked really solid. He looked quick, given his size. He might be my player of the game by the end of this show. Jake Majors had some flashes. Willie Lampkin. Like, what was your take on the offensive line?
Yeah, I always have a hard time watching preseason live with offensive linemen because you almost never see their numbers and it's hard to figure out as who. But Markel Bell is one of the guys I was looking for. And, I mean, he looked like he belonged. And that's a big step because you kind of take him as a project-type guy, and the reviews out of training camp on him have been really good. And so to see it in a game, even a preseason game against backups, it makes you feel good about his potential moving forward. So I didn't really catch much of any other particular offensive lineman, but I was trying to keep an eye on Markel Bell, and I liked what I saw.
Yeah, for sure. And then we get to the Eagles receiving core, which I was really excited about, heading into this one because of, so much of the media hyping up Darius Cooper to Hollywood Brown. And really, it was a flat disappointment. Even Eli Stowers out there gave me PTSD of Grant Calcaterra. Cannot hold his own whatsoever at the point of attack. His blocking looks terrible. And I am very concerned about him being on the football field this year. He's got a long way to go. Any thoughts on the receiving group?
Yeah, I mean, Darius Cooper, he had the one, I think it was a third down when Andy Dalton kind of rushed against pressure on that curl route, and it went off of Cooper's hands. That's a tough catch, but it's a catch you would like to see him make there. It did hit him in the hands, and then he just got missed by Tanner McKee on one of those sideline routes, just went off his fingertips. I don't put that one on him at all. It was just out of reach. So Darius Cooper, it's kind of hard to tell just looking at how bad everything else was. It's really hard to get much of a feel for him. But Stowers, first play of the game, holding penalty. Later, they asked him to do a kick-out block, pulling him across the formation, and he just got blown up. And then I feel like I didn't really see him much else beyond that. We'll see what he becomes. I know Grant Calcaterra played way too much football, though. Like, you drafted Stowers, you need to get Calcaterra off this roster. And then, honestly, the thing that got me the most fired up during the game was a play where they put... I watch a receiver that's aligned close to the line of scrimmage that's supposed to block on a run play, and he just gets blown up, just like whiffs the block. And I was like, well, that receiver's not making the roster. And then I go look it up, and it's Britton Covey. Like, they put a 5'7", 172-pound guy and asked him to block an edge rusher. And I know it's the preseason, but I have a little bit of PTSD from last year when we just kept asking players to do something that it was hilariously obvious was not in their physical ability or skill set. And that all rushed back into my head. And it's a preseason game, so who cares? But like, man, I felt bad for Britton Covey there. Like, he had no chance, but it looks bad for him on film. So didn't see much. I did like that one manufactured touch they got to Hollywood Brown on the first drive where they did the boot action and threw it to him. Just kind of nice to see under center, play action, get the ball to a alleged playmaker in space. And so we'll see what happens when we've got some actual players out there. I mean, we're looking at what? Our wide receiver 4, maybe 5 at best, played tonight. So I would like to see Darius Cooper with a little bit better surrounding stuff. And I'd like to see Eli Stowers a little bit more too. He's somebody I'll probably try to focus on when I go back and watch again.
Yeah. I was not the biggest Eli Stowers fan when they drafted him this year. Great dude. Seems like a great dude top to bottom. No doubt about it. But we'll see. Let's roll on to... Did you see the Jordan Mailata interview on the sideline during the second half by chance?
No. So I was watching through NFL Plus, and it gave me the Ravens broadcast, which was absolutely terrible for anybody that's outside of Philly that had to watch the Ravens broadcast on NFL Plus. It's one of the worst things I've ever watched. They actually had like an 8-minute interview with Lamar Jackson while the Eagles had the football. And I was like, seriously? So I did not see it. You'll have to tell me about it. But Ravens, like, gosh, let's at least try to make a broadcast semi-professional.
Yeah, basically, they were asking Jordan Mailata like how different things are under Sean Mannion, and man, it was one of the most damning interviews I have seen towards Jeff Stoutland. Like,
what did he say?
Just basically like, we can run this kind of offense. This is a breath of fresh air. Like, we're gonna buy Sean Mannion some Christmas gifts this year. Like, it was pretty fascinating. It was pretty. The message was pretty clear. I thought that.
You think that's a shot at Stoutland?
Well, it was more. Let me circle back. It was more about the offensive line being able to play more freely and not to think. It was an easier way to play for offensive linemen, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, I did think it was interesting. I saw this floating around on Twitter that Sean Mannion is going to call plays from the box next weekend. He called them from the sideline this weekend. I think that's smart. That's interesting. Guys never called plays before. Use the preseason and try it out from the sideline, try it out from the box, and see what you like. I thought that was interesting. Something I would have never thought of.
Any other thoughts on the offense?
Now, please don't make me watch him again. Fast forward. Week 1, let's go.
All right, let's head straight to the defense. Let's start positives. I thought you have to start with like one of the biggest winners has to be Ty Robinson making a sighting, because all reports throughout training camp, Ty Robinson has really struggled showing explosiveness and taking that next step in his development and got a sack. Ty Robinson, is he making a case to make this roster, Shane?
Yeah, I thought Ty Robinson looked good in this game. Did he end up with a sack? He had one play at least where he got to the quarterback. I think he got a sack.
Looks like it.
Now I'm looking up. Yeah. I tweeted it out. He got a sack on a play that was really nice. I would call him a pretty big winner from this one. He's a guy that was really disappointing last season. And by the way, apparently Cole Payton's having a better second drive, so I'll have to go back and watch that one after the show. But yeah, he's a guy that looked really bad last year, looked like a bad draft pick. When you go take a 24-year-old, you expect him to be able to contribute earlier, and it was a rough season last year for Ty Robinson, but I thought he looked decent tonight, and I would not be surprised if he is able to build off of that and make this roster and maybe play some meaningful football this year.
Yeah, Ty Robinson, gorilla. Love to see it. And then arguably the star of the defense, at least in the first half, was Jeremiah Trotter Jr. 5 tackles, a sack, a quarterback hit. Whether he was blitzing, filling gaps, stopping the run. Trot Jr., man. I was so upset with Nakobe Dean leaving this offseason, but suddenly the depth at linebacker seems like a strength. Quick thoughts on Trot?
Yeah, I thought he looked good. I think the Eagles are in a nice spot in linebacker. At linebacker, I mean, for years we watched nothing at linebacker, and you lose Nakobe Dean, but you have a linebacker you drafted in the first round last year in Jahad Campbell. You have Trotter Jr. out there. Obviously, Zach Bond, who will be a for sure starter for the Eagles, and so they don't just have a superstar in Bond; they've got two good options to play next to him, and so you got to feel good about where they're at there. I still think Jahad Campbell's probably going to be that starter, but good reps from Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and you feel really good about him as a backup, or if he ends up beating Campbell out, you feel good about him being a starting linebacker.
And then let's talk about Campbell. Campbell finished this one. How many? He only had 3 tackles, but I thought the dude was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like in coverage, in the run game, he looked fast. He looked slim. He looked agile. I've seen enough, Shane. I'm ready for him to just punt the rest of the preseason, just keep him healthy. Quick thoughts on Jahad Campbell?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, same sort of thing. I thought Jahad Campbell played well at the beginning of last season before he kind of got benched for Nakobe Dean. I expected him to be the starter this year, and I don't think anything has changed my mind on that. I still think he's going to be the starter, and I think he's going to be a good football player. I mean, he had some deficiencies in the run game last year, but looked good in coverage, and obviously you're going to have to still probably see some growth in the run game, and maybe we'll see that. But I'm excited to see him in real meaningful football, more so than in any more preseason.
Another fun one in this one we were really excited to watch was AJ Epinesa, who definitely got toast in coverage in the first half.
First play.
But I thought he looked really good in run support. I mean, he looks like a lock to make this roster and be a core component of this Eagles edge rush group. What did you think about AJ Epinesa?
Yeah, I thought Epinesa played well. I thought Arnold Ebiketie. I've never been clear on how to say his last name. I thought he looked good too. I thought both of them did a good job setting the edge against the run game. Ebiketie especially. I feel like almost every time I noticed him on a pass play, he was dropping into coverage. So I don't know if that's because he's particularly good at it, or maybe Epinesa is particularly bad at it, or maybe, that's just how they were kind of dividing that stuff up tonight. But yeah, Epinesa gets toasted on that first play, got caught peeking into the backfield, and pretty much after that, Arnold, I'll just call him Arnold, was the one in coverage almost every time. But I thought they both looked good. I think the Eagles have a lot of depth along that front seven. The pass rushers, the interior defensive line, and at linebacker. That's a pretty big position of strength when it comes to depth. Not so with the secondary, though, which we're about to get into.
Speaking of getting toast, the Eagles secondary was truly brutal in this one. Leading off with Mac McWilliams, who I thought just looked outclassed.
Major stock down from Mac McWilliams.
I was really excited. I heard throughout at least the last week or two from camp, from the media, that Mac McWilliams was really coming on. He just looked out of place. Just shades of Gannon defense, kind of defensive back, like just not good. Keely Ringo got torched. He did have the pick, but the entire secondary just did not look engaged. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was a single person in the secondary that looked good.
Losing weight is one thing, but looking and feeling your best this summer, that's the real goal. That's why Weight Loss by Hims now offers actually the FDA-approved Wegovy pill and Wegovy pen. Wegovy is designed to help you lose weight and keep it off so you can show up this summer feeling like yourself. With Wegovy at Hims, lose up to 20% of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite, eat less, and keep weight off. Plus, Wegovy is the first ever GLP-1 pill for weight loss, so there are no needles needed. Ready to reach your goals? Visit hims.com/FFSN to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's HIMS.com/FFSN, hims.com/FFSN. Weight loss by Hims is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information and restrictions, visit hims.com. That's HIMS.com/FFSN, hims.com/FFSN. Before the season even kicks off, everyone's making predictions. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifting the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you can trade those predictions in a live market. For instance, can the Pittsburgh Steelers win at least 9 games this season? If the Steelers do, they're currently trading at 45% probability. A $100 trade pays out over $200 if the Steelers reach just 9 wins. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. Trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app and use code FFSN to get up to $500 in bonus credits when you trade $25. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Pros trust the Home Depot for heavy-duty storage solutions for any job site or garage. Right now, get up to 15% off select storage and organization, impact and water-resistant totes, and shelving built to hold up to 2,500 pounds. Storage systems have space for all your tools and protect them in the garage, on the job site, and everywhere in between. Save time and maximize efficiency with adjustable shelving customized to your business's needs. Shop and save on pro-grade storage at the Home Depot. How pros get more done.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's Fruit Snacks, made with whole fruit and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's Fruit Snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
Listen to the
Chevy is called the heartbeat of America for a reason. With SUVs made to move with your rhythm. The versatile Equinox tackles your entire day. The spacious Traverse fits your crew and your whole weekend. And Trax brings style with value you can count on. All infused with tech that has your back, so your drive always hits the right chord. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Mac McWilliams looked really bad. Keely Ringo looked bad. I mean, I know he gets the interception in the end zone. That ball was way late. He was beat off of the break on that one. And, you know, he's a good straight line speed guy, so if you let a wide open guy run all the way across the field, Keely Ringo can probably undercut it. The PI that he got flagged on, the play before the interception, I thought was a bad call, but it was also bad rep for Ringo because he reached out and grabbed. There's no reason to do that. All they're looking for is that hook. And I thought, to his credit, he let go really quickly and the ball wasn't catchable. So 2 different ways I didn't think it should have been flagged, but he still shouldn't have reached out and grabbed him. And that's been one of his problems, is he is so grabby because he doesn't trust his lateral agility. The touchdown the first touchdown that the Eagles gave up, he got toasted on a dig route. Now that was a bad Michael Carter play too. Michael Carter was middle of field safety, was not in conflict. There's nobody there, and he just takes a bad angle. He should have been impacting the catch point there, or at least wrapping up, and that should have never been a touchdown. So, I mean, stock down for Michael Carter at safety, stock down for Keely Ringo, stock down for Mac McWilliams. It's not ideal when like that. The Eagles have Quinyon and Cooper DeJean, stud cornerbacks. Reek Woolen, you know, he can be hit or miss, but he's at least got star potential, really good starter potential. The Eagles might have the best like CB 1 through 3 in the NFL, if they don't have the worst CB4 in the NFL, they've probably got to be pretty close. If any of these guys goes down, the Eagles are in a whole lot of trouble. I don't know. Adoree Jackson is on an NFL roster currently, but if he's not, the Eagles should make a phone call. I'm going to look that up now.
Not great when the best defensive back tonight was UFL star and Sean Wade. At least he showed some effort. But, man, it was brutal. We have to talk about a couple international guys for sure.
By the way, Adoree Jackson appears to currently be a free agent. So, Eagles, make a phone call. It's also, safety-wise, it's not ideal when Marcus Epps not only is so entrenched as your starter that he's not even in a competition in week 1 of the preseason. Not only is he entrenched in your starter, he is so invaluable that you don't even dress him out to play. Like, that's how bad the Eagles safety room is right now, that Marcus Epps is a guy you can't afford to play in the preseason. So I am really concerned about safety. I think corner is good as long as nobody gets hurt, but it is going to be tough sledding if they've got to put one of those guys we saw tonight on the field.
Yep. We had a couple of debuts from the international pool, where Bernard and Josh Weru had their first snaps with the Philadelphia Eagles. My heart, I'm just so happy for Bernard. It was exciting to watch him get on the field. My brain, dude, he's a year away from being a year away. Like, he's got a long way to go. He did show some push, pushing the pocket there, but man, he plays so high, zero leverage. He's got a long way to go, and I'm on record for making some pretty bold predictions with Uwe Bernard on the team this year. What were your thoughts on Bernard and Weru?
I didn't notice either one of them a ton.
Okay.
And they're guys I'm going to have to look for when I go back and rewatch. I feel like once we got past halftime, I spent more time looking at my phone at the roster to see who was what number than I did watching the game. And so I always have a hard time with that in the preseason. But I did see one of the first pass rushes of Bernard that somebody clipped up and put on Twitter, and kind of the same thing, like raw. There's some physical gifts there, and he's going to have to learn how to play the position. And the fear is, though, that like some of the things that people have said about him and some of the hype, I don't know if you can get away with exposing him to like the practice squad. So I don't know. Is there an international exemption? I don't follow the roster stuff, all those niche rules that clearly. But do they have to put him on the 53-man roster?
I'm not the best one to ask on that one. Yeah. I think they can hide him, but...
Okay. Maybe it's that they can hide one, but not both.
Right. Yeah. But the lasting memory of Uwe Bernard's first game with the Eagles was him running back to the sideline, and they showed him next to Clint Hurt. And the fact that you can make Clint Hurt look small is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But let's roll on to special teams. Obviously, the return game was awful. No surprise there, but I thought Braden Mann kicked a damn good ball tonight. 47 plus average. So elite. Didn't get to see anything from Jake Elliott. Anything on special teams before we get into player of the game?
I mean, Quez Watkins is a measurably worse kick returner than whoever this guy I've never heard of is, Eric. Get Quez Watkins off of this football team. I never want to say his name in my entire life again. That's my only take. I saw somebody saying on Twitter that Braden Mann's hang times were not very high.
Okay.
I don't know though. I'm not a punt analytics guy. There is a Twitter account I follow for that. I'm not sure if that was who said it, but they did mention that he was booming kicks, but they weren't very. I can never remember their handle either to go see if it was them. But yeah, I don't have a lot of takes there, but I did see somebody saying that his hang times were kind of low. I don't know if that's true or not though.
Should we do player of the game? Should we do like winner and loser? How do you want to do this? Let's
just stick with the player of the game format.
Player of the game. Who's your player of the game?
I'll give it to Trotter. Give me Trotter Jr. I thought he looked really good. A little bit of all over the place making plays, and so nice job for him following up on what's been a pretty good camp for him as well. So Trotter Jr., my player of the game.
Trotter Jr. for Shane. That's where I would have went. I'm gonna go Markel Bell.
Okay.
Markel Bell, I thought looked like he was an NFL player, and that's what I wanted to see. He looked strong. He looked fast, obviously tall, but him pushing the pile, him opening up holes in the run game. I already know he's a pretty solid pass protector, but I wanted to see him move people a little bit, and I'm really excited about what he can give the Eagles. Maybe not so much this year at right tackle, which I believe we saw him most at right tackle tonight, but after Lane Johnson going forward, I was definitely skeptical about that pick as well when they made it. So happy to say, that looks like a very good pick, and I'm really excited to see that going forward. Shane, let's wrap it up. We have a comment here first. Hold on. Jalen Hurts should be the player of the game. I literally said that.
You did.
Before we went live, I was like, Jalen Hurts might be my player of the game. If I had to pick a loser of the game, is probably Howie Roseman, because he not only destroyed Tanner McKee's trade stock in this one, but Andy Dalton doesn't look like he belongs. It looks like they don't have depth at quarterback. They might need to bring in someone.
Nah, they'll be fine. I trust in Tanner McKee.
I did too.
Tanner McKee was out there with the third and fourth stringer. And that's the thing, too. Just as we wrap up, I posted at one point that the Eagles had 6 penalties and 2 first downs. And I had several people commenting, asking if it's the play calling or whatever. You're not going to glean much from the play calling in the preseason. I mean, you can glean that we ran under center, we did outside zone. You can see some of that stuff, but they're not calling sequencing plays. It's very vanilla. And the big thing is the Eagles just don't care about the preseason. I mean, they started a third string edge rusher and then pulled him in the first quarter. They just are not playing guys that they think are going to meaningfully contribute this season beyond a Darius Cooper, maybe in a roster battle. And so, I mean, no team really takes the preseason seriously. Shout out the Giants getting Jackson Dart killed in the first quarter of the first preseason game. But most teams that are intelligent don't take the preseason that seriously, but it's varying degrees. And I don't know the Ravens depth chart well enough to tell you this, but I would hazard a guess. The Ravens were playing some meaningful backups, whereas the Eagles just don't. And so, yeah, they look outclassed in every way. The majority of the guys that were on the football field for the Eagles tonight will be in a different profession in about 2 months. And so I think that's an important thing to remember as you just think, man, so some of you might be like, man, the Eagles, this was terrible. You might be tempted to start to panic. It feels like we do this every preseason. The Eagles just do not play guys that are meaningful in the preseason whatsoever.
All right. That is our post-game show. Shane, final thoughts, plugs. Time is yours, man.
Yeah, I'll call that my final thought. Plugs, just tune into the Eagles Pinpool Network. Shows have been sparse over the offseason. We've still had stuff in your feed, but not to the degree that we're about to ramp up to. So we've got a lot of shows every week. Birds of the Round Table. We've got my show with Johnny on the Shane page. We're going to attempt to do a film review show on Wednesday. Kelly Greenhour guys will be back. We'll be having post-game shows. I can't guarantee a post-game show for week 2 of the preseason after watching week 1, but we're going to be ramping back up. Chalk Talk is back. Chalk Talk's going to be going live Monday. We're going to be previewing the NFC and AFC North. We did the East a week and a half ago, so we'll get through all of our divisional previews. So there's going to be a lot of cool content on the Eagles Pinpool Network. So you guys buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and we can't wait to hang out with you all this season.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment your winners and losers of week 1 from the Eagles preseason. We'll see you next time. He is Shane Half, NFL on X. I am Deibs, Mr. Crockpot. Stay awesome.